Welcome to the Dave Palma Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Palma.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Palma Show. And with me in this episode, I have a couple whose personal journey of starting their business with no prior experience built up to 7 figures. Todd and Leah Getz. Welcome to the Dave Palma Show.
Thank you so much for having us, Dave. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on the show, sharing really more how you can inspire people to, obviously there's this American dream everyone talks about, but I mean, this is a global show. And of course that not everyone is in America. I mean, people in India are making money, but the gap is so big, so it's really inspiring people to just achieve their dreams. Really, I think it's probably the better word to use, right? So let's get into the story a bit. I mean, obviously, I think you didn't know each other before and didn't have any money, probably, or not much money, and you wasn't coaching. Shall we start there?
Yeah. So this started for us, really when our son was born 10 years ago. So Todd and I have been married for 20 years. We kind of went the traditional route. I was a nurse. I got my bachelor's of science in nursing. Yeah. Todd was a band director. He was a teacher.
Yeah.
And we kind of went the traditional way that folks go, you're an achiever, you go to school, you get a good job. Yeah. And I think it was Todd got his job got cut twice in the first 3 years of getting out of college. Yeah. Just budget cuts within schools. And I was working myself to the bone, as a lot of nurses can relate to.
Yeah. I'm an ex-firefighter. I've been around lots of nurses as well. So
yeah.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
The pay, yeah.
No, for sure. And so we ended up kind of having to pivot our careers a few times and just...
Your sound went a little bit there, so...
Okay.
Leah, you may want to check your mic, because if you plugged in your headphones, it's probably using the mic on your earbuds rather than the actual podcast.
Zoom. Let me double check.
Yeah. So Todd, just while she's checking it, so you was a band leader at the same time. Band teacher. So that means you was in a band or something, or?
No, I was teaching middle school and high school band in rural Minnesota, so very small school.
Well, I've heard of Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cold there.
Yeah. That's right. It's a swing state in terms of voting and stuff. Michigan, is it near there?
Yeah, Michigan, Wisconsin, those are swing states right now. Minnesota has voted Democrat, I think, consistently for the past 30 or 40 years, but it looks like it may be in play this year. Who knows?
Well, let's sway off the politics a bit. I've got a politics degree. But we know it's elections coming up, but we don't really want to cause any. So let's get back to Leah first, and then the story was that you was a nurse, and
and it started to become evident that we were going to have to adopt children, which is incredibly expensive here in the United States. And at the time, we were in a state that doesn't pay a lot for nurses. I ended up making some career shifts, getting into healthcare IT and doing some different things. And we got to the point where we were both doing traveling consulting. So traveling in and out every week, and really great money, to be honest, but also a really hard lifestyle. But that's what we needed to do to get where we wanted our family long term. Finally, after 10 years of praying for children, we adopted our first son. And
So I think I might have missed something. So you couldn't have children yourself or something, or you just wanted to adopt only, or... I know it's a bit sensitive, but...
we just haven't been able to. So and so we adopted our first son, and I was a single mom because Todd was still traveling. I started staying home. He was flying out Sunday nights, flying back Thursday evenings or Friday mornings. And it was like, we were working for this and praying for this for 10 years. Like, what like, this is not what we wanted. And so we started to look for alternatives. At the time, we lived in rural Oklahoma, and there's really not a lot of job prospects, especially to be able to replace the kind of income that Todd was making at the time.
Right.
And so we found first network marketing and then affiliate marketing.
Yeah.
Okay. And we utterly failed at first network marketing. It led us to affiliate marketing and learning how to sell things online. And for those who aren't familiar with affiliate marketing, it's marketing or selling other people's products. So you don't have to worry about delivering or the product itself, just getting it out there into the marketplace. And so it was a really good entry point for us in the online space, because we had to learn all of the key internet marketing things, right?
Yeah.
Copywriting, funnels, sales, all of these good things.
Yeah.
And so we kind of sucked at the beginning, not going to lie. But we I'm
not very good at that stuff myself, but
well, we were when we started, but we went through courses, we got coaching, like we did all of these things, and then we were able to really make that work for us. We were, I think it was 18 months or 1 year in, and we were able to retire Todd from his 6-figure job, which was great. We were able to bring him home full time with our family, and within 12 or 18 months after that, we hit our very first 6-figure month. So we've really taken a massive journey along this path. And our second son has never known what it's like to have parents working out of the home. We've always been able to be here with our children. And we made the transition many years back. We had succeeded with affiliate marketing very well. And we started having people kind of tap it on our shoulders saying, how are you doing this? What are you doing? How are you generating leads? How are you making these sales? And so we put together our very first course. And that's where our revenue really exploded from 6 figures a year to 7 figures.
You sold your own products in the end.
Yes, is really showing our expertise, the skills that we had put in the sweat and the sweat equity into learning that we had figured out were working. Now we started teaching what was working. And that's where everything really fell aligned with us, is leaning into your own level of expertise. And that's where we found our zone of genius, is offering and helping now other people offer and lean into their area of expertise. So we work with a lot of life coaches, fitness, health and wellness, business consultants, a lot of different people who are really, really good at what they do, but they don't know how to generate leads and make sales and do this whole online marketing thing. And so we're working with them hands-on, helping them to put all of the pieces together to create a very successful, sustainable, solid foundation to their business that they build upon.
Right, that's interesting. Do you do it B2B or help them just get clients out there, just individual one-to-one, or both?
So our clients are doing more B2C, and B2C in more of the loose term. They might have, really small businesses, which are more that you market to, similar to B2C. So not large corporations or anything like that, but folks that you can, run Facebook ads to, people that you can connect with on social media, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so let's bring Todd in. I tried to bring him in a little bit. So basically, essentially you was a music teacher in high school. So that's basically which obviously a teaching profession is as demanding and not as great pay. Any public sector job. I mean, as a firefighter, we always, went on strike once as well for the whole country. And so, doctors and nurses recently went on strike in the UK here because, the pay was, especially junior doctors, the pay's like only a little bit better than McDonald's staff for some people. It's terrible. Probably not as bad as that, but I'm just saying it's kind of because the hours you put in hours, aren't you? And it's shift work, so
and the thing is, like, you go into that profession knowing what the pay is. The reason I went into that is because I wanted the stability, right? And the thing is, like, the stability that I was being promised just never materialized. My position was cut from the budget twice in 3 years. Also within that time, I think there were school districts in Minnesota that had gone on strike, and people were not making money then, and it was people were losing their pensions because there wasn't enough money to fund them. And so it seemed like there was always some issue going on in the teaching industry that the promises that were made were just never being really fulfilled. And looking into the future, it just didn't seem to me like the most stable or the most secure thing that I could do. And that if I'm going to do something that has that amount of risk in it, I might as well make more money. and that was the thing. It's like, well, I'm taking on this risk either way. Let's just do it with a profession that I can, have more upwards mobility as far as income goes. And that's where we really started to look at what type of businesses can we build, because the network marketing thing just kind of fell in our lap. Before we were looking at things like, okay, so how do we start a franchise? Could we open up like a Subway franchise, or like a 2 men in a truck moving company, or something like that? What's something easy that we could start? And when we started looking at how much money we would have to invest on the front end, and then how much money you had the potential to make, say after 5 years, it was like you would have to invest over $100,000 up front. And then maybe in 5 years, you might make as much as $50,000 in revenue. And it's like, well, that's about what I would make as a teacher, and I wouldn't have to invest $100,000 and do it, right? And it's like there's just so much more work involved in owning a franchise like that.
Yeah.
And the thing's like, starting an online business never even really occurred to us. Like, it was something we thought was. I don't know, Leah. I don't know if you.
We just didn't even think about it. Like, it wasn't even on our radar in any way.
No.
But we had a friend kind of present a network marketing opportunity to us, and Leah fell in love with it. She thought it was a great idea. I said, no, this is absolutely going to be a scam. So we compromised, and we went full in at $4,000 package.
Yeah,
and that's what we got the ball.
That's a hell of a lot of money for a network marketing. $4,000.
Oh yeah, we went for the giant package twice. Like we
bought like 2 positions, the top package and everything. We went all in.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I must admit, I did try Herbalife once, and I also tried Juice Plus. But that's because I was an ex-athlete and obviously more into fitness. Obviously, I was in a fitness-orientated job, kind of. Well, you was into health as well, with being a nurse as well, and things like that. But so it was kind of not easy sell, but you knew some knowledge about what was in it, what's going on, that sort of stuff. Anyway, sorry, Todd. Yeah, so. The 4,000 you invested in it.
And the thing is, so when we did that, I told Leah, well, okay, this is your thing, you're going to do it, and you got to at least make your money back. And I would listen to her calling up my friends and people she had never talked to since high school. And I would listen to this, and these are like, this is a training that the companies put you through, and they're telling you, this is what you need to say, and this is going to make sales. And I would listen to her on the phone. I'd be like, why would you say that? Like, that doesn't make sense. That sounds so salesy. Nobody's going to say yes to that. And obviously we made 0 sales. And that's when I was, just sitting there on the couch, listening to her talk on the phone. I started to panic, because I'm like, okay, we're not making this money back. We got to figure out something. And so that's when I started doing the Google searches and searches on Amazon about, okay, how to succeed in network marketing, how to generate leads, how to do. And so I started buying books about marketing and network marketing and how to make sales. And through reading those books, that's where I kind of started to become convinced that, okay, this could work. If you learn how to market correctly, we can do this online. We can generate leads online. We can do all these things. And then, so that's when I kind of came into the business. I'm like, okay, Leah, this is what we need to do. We need to start a YouTube channel. We need to start a Facebook group, and we need to do these things, and this could work. And then it just kind of slowly built into that. And then through that process, we got introduced to other types of ways to make money online. It's like we could use the same skills to learn how to do affiliate marketing. We could use the same skills to build almost any other type of business. And so that's kind of cool. And that's what got us introduced to affiliate marketing, where we had, much more success in network marketing. And then the big thing that really got us to building that first online course was when we looked at our peers, other people that we had networked with who were also doing the same thing. And we saw the amount of work that we were putting in and how much money we were making versus them. It became obvious to us that they had something else going on. Like, they were making more money than us. They were working a lot less. And there was just something that we were missing. And so that's when we started talking to them. We're like, well, where's your income coming from? And more and more and more, we got to see that, they're making $10,000-$20,000 a month with their affiliate marketing, but they're making 7 figures selling courses and selling coaching and things like that. And that's where we started to see, okay, well, that's where a lot more of the money is. And so that was another thing that really kind of gave us a kick in the butt to create our own course and start to learn how to market and sell that.
Yeah, wow. So you wasn't actually into coaching at the time. It was more you started the network selling, but then looked at more the marketing model and thought we could transfer that skill into something that's much more monetizes much more on a greater level, which is coaching, etc., which is something I'm doing as well, actually, by the way. But yeah, I did sales during the pandemic for a different company, and I actually was surprised how easy it was for me to do. Some people don't like it, but I've suddenly found out, and it was B2B actually, so that wasn't too bad. I'm doing B2B now for a mindfulness app, but I'm a life coach on it, so that's quite that's all. This is all new to me, all this stuff. This is all stuff that's happened in 2024 or mid 2024, so it's quite good you guys have come along to share something that I want to share. But that's not where I'm making my money generally. That's more in the stock shares and etc. There's so many bots around there. You can lose money on those bots as well as in the markets as well. So you've got to be very careful. Yeah. And it was a learning curve for 6 years, 5 years. I was living out in the Philippines at the time, so I was looking for something to do. You know, while I was traveling back to the UK, still working privately for a fire company in buildings that was dodgy, you know, so I was making good money, you know, more money than as a firefighter.
Right.
However, the coaching thing also was doing as a sideline because I couldn't really do personal training because I was really just, you know, in a remote area in the Philippines. And then when I came back to London, I was really busy just doing this fire job, you know, not in the fire service, but private. So it was easy just to kind of, with the like yourself technology, just do it. So there's two things I was involved with, you know. However, I am making my money more on the stocks things because I've sussed out the bots and how they work and how you can lose your money, which I've lost a hell of a lot of money from, as well as, you know, as a learning curve, as well as make a lot, you know. Right. The other thing about the UK is that if you bet on it, I bet it's going to go up. I bet the price is going to go down on which company, which currency, which crypto. It's tax free, so that's another thing. Although the corporate tax is only 20% anyway. But anyway, I don't want to talk about the tax man might be coming. No. So, however, it is a big thing for me to try and get this sales and marketing thing for coaching. So that's quite an interesting thing. So now we've heard your journey, how you managed to do it. I mean, obviously you're given a slight struggle. I mean, so you obviously had a son to bring up as well, an adopted son, but you know, a son, irrespective, you're parenting, aren't you? I've got a 9-year-old daughter. I'm a single parent as well, you know, so it's hard work. And I'm still trying to do this sales and marketing thing with the coaching. So this is the key, what you're doing. You know, it's quite good for me to learn from as well, you know, although you're doing it B2C. So tell us more about that before we can point people to, you know, maybe including myself, to learn from it a bit more. There are people like, I think it's someone Brunson, sounds like Richard Brunson. I think it's Gary Brunson. Russell Brunson, yeah, he talks about funnels and even doing podcasting like myself and how that can make you money through that and things like that. Because this is really essentially part of a sales funnel as well, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So let's hear your version of what you do and how you made that making money through the coaching when you transitioned. Tell us that journey where you transitioned and whoa, the money's pouring in now from the coaching. Yeah, tell us about that transition you made.
Todd, do you want to take this one?
Yeah. So when we launched our first online course, we had the benefit of already having an online audience to launch it to, because we had already done the affiliate marketing. We knew how to build an email list, and we had been building one for a while. People were already kind of asking us about, okay, how do you generate leads? How do you do this, that, and the other thing? And so we are already getting a bunch of questions about how to do this, and we had already created some content around it. So people were already primed for our course when it came out. And so when we launched it right away, our first couple of months, we were already making $20,000-$30,000 a month just from the course sales, in addition to what we were making with affiliate marketing. And the way that we were doing it at the time was we were doing live webinars once a week. And, at first we would sell to our list. And then once we had kind of sold to our entire list, then we had to find other sources of traffic. And that's where a lot of entrepreneurs kind of get held up, is once they sell to, they're getting their clients and customers from their warm referrals or from networking, and you can only scale that so far. And so at that time, we had to get really good at paid ads. And that's one of the next skills that kind of catapulted us from the $20,000 to $30,000 a month range to suddenly catapulting us into the six to multiple six figures per month range, because we got really good at running ads and driving traffic like that. And that kind of brought about its own problems. When you start, when you scale that big, that fast, and you don't have the infrastructure to support all those new customers coming in, it's one of those things that you don't really think about.
Yeah, you're all over it. You need to be an octopus. What's going on here?
Yeah, because people have this idea that, you create a course and then you sell it and people just buy it, they go through it, and you don't have any customer support to take care of, because, it's totally hands off, right? You're not doing coaching or anything. It's people are going through the course and they're just doing their own thing. Well, no, people have trouble logging in. People lose the email, or the email goes to spam, or they keep typing in their password wrong. And so suddenly, when we go from 20 to 30,000 a month to suddenly 1 to 200,000 a month, now we're just inundated with all this customer support, and I'm hating my life because I'm spending all day just taking care of these customer support problems, trying to get people not to request refunds, or people, instead of asking for a refund, they just do a chargeback on their credit card right away. So now I have to deal with that. And it just became a complete nightmare. And so after a couple of months of that, we actually just stopped everything and stopped making sales. We'd made plenty of money, and we just had to take a step back and start getting the other back end pieces in place in order to be able to support that type of, that amount of traffic and those amount of customers coming in. And it was a huge learning curve to be able to do that early on in our business, because we kind of had this idea that, we could do this completely as solopreneurs and, not have to hire anybody or manage employees. And that was, if you're at a lower revenue level, 20, 30,000, maybe 50,000 a month, you can probably do that. But when you're really scaling up to six figures plus per month, you need a lot more. You're going to need a team to be able to handle that. And so we started building that skill about how to find the right people, how to, outsource contractors in your business, how to train them up, creating SOPs and things like that. And then the next problem we really had was, well, now that we got all these customers, we kind of marketed this course to everybody in our niche. Our ad, we were getting ad fatigue. Our ad has been shown to everybody, in our audience so many times, and we keep refreshing the ads, and every time we do that, it becomes less and less effective. So now it became a problem of, well, what's the next offer that we offer them, or how do we keep generating revenue in our business after everybody has already been exposed to our offer? And so that's when we got introduced to the idea of, well, you should do coaching in addition to that. Do high ticket coaching as the next upsell. And so that's how we kind of got into what we're doing right now, which is, a more personalized group coaching program. We also do one-on-one coaching, but our main core product now is our group coaching program. And we're working with a lot fewer people that are paying us a lot more money, and life is so much less stressful. We're able to, because we're not dealing with the
I was waiting for you to get to that part.
Yeah,
I'm looking at that. That's what I'm looking at as well.
We're not dealing with people asking questions like, "Oh, this is a scam. You didn't send me my passwords." We don't have those issues that should be handled by minimum wage people that you really shouldn't have to deal with. We're dealing with a much more
high end. It's kind of high end coaching, but obviously, but the thing is, with that sort of coaching, would you just use ads again, or wouldn't you have had a select amount of people and just targeted the ones that have got that money to have the higher upsell?
Yeah, and the thing, like the level or the amount of ad spend that you have to spend to make the same amount of money is a lot less. Your profit margins are a lot higher. You're able to do a lot more with a lot fewer people. It's just the whole thing is so much less stressful. You still need a team. You're still going to want a team to be able to scale and things like that. But you're working, instead of working with customer support type people, you're working with like appointment setters and call closers and account managers and things like that. People who have a higher level of expertise that you really enjoy working with. Yeah. So it's just for us, it's a lot less stressful type of business to be able to run. Gives us a lot more free time in our day to be able to take care of the kids, take care of family matters, run errands throughout the day. And then, it's for us, the lifestyle difference is just night and day.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only thing is, I'm just trying to think. Is that what you're doing now? Then is it, you actually teach people about this high end coaching where you just take a small amount and charge a lot more money? Is that what you do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
okay.
Well, because that's really the easiest thing to be profitable with.
Mhm.
Selling a low ticket. Here's the thing: a lot of people will look at the big gurus online and they'll see that, oh, they're selling a $50 online course. They must be making millions of dollars with that $50 course. The truth of the matter is that anyone that you see that's running paid ads to a low ticket course, it might be $7, might be $50 on the higher end, maybe. They're doing that to generate buyer leads. And they're willing to pay sometimes up to 5 times the cost of the sale in order to generate that lead. So if they're selling something for $50, they may be paying up to, say, $250 to make a $50 sale.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't make sense, does it?
Well, not to a normal person.
No.
But the thing is, where they're making their money is on the back end with high ticket coaching.
Okay, right.
So they're making a $50 sale. They're paying $250 to do that, but they know that maybe 1 out of 4 people who buys that low ticket course is going to upsell into a $10,000 coaching program. So if you do the math, you may pay $1,000 in order to get a $10,000 client. Well, that's a 10 times return on ad spend. You're not going to get that selling a $300 or a $500 course with paid ads. That's just an insane ROI that you just can't get that way.
No, absolutely. And that's probably where I'm at actually with what I want to do. So I might actually have the word with you later about it. But I mean, I've got a couple of ads things, but I think I've got an idea of my funnel anyway, which you want to try and keep as simple as possible as well, don't you, really? You don't want to make that complex, surely.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that a lot of, I guess the point I was trying to make is a lot of people see that $50 course that the big guru is selling, and they'll think that, oh, I can make $1 million selling a $50 course, and it never happens that way because they don't know the back end of the system.
Yeah. It's that back end one that does it for you. And would that include doing seminars, workshops, masterminds, retreats abroad, and things like that in exotic destinations, or is that all kind of?
We don't. I mean, you can't. A lot of people like doing those sorts of things.
But that's time consuming as well, isn't it? And all the stuff that's involved around getting that organized.
Right. Doing a live in-person events, like they can be very profitable. Like, don't get me wrong, there's people who make a lot of money doing those live, but it's so much coordination. It's so, I mean, an event like that may cost $90,000-$100,000 to put on.
Right.
There's a lot of pressure to be able to sell to make up that money during the event. There's a lot of logistics that need to happen. You're not going to do it on your own. You need a team of people to be able to do that for you. Yeah. So, you can hire event planners to help you out with that, but you're going to want to find one that's really experienced that can really manage that.
So yours is purely online then? Everything you do is online? Ah, right. Well, that's very interesting. I do like, one of the things I like about Tony Robbins, I mean, I like Les Brown. I love Les Brown's I don't know what he's doing these days, but he just comes across as a really cool, humble guy, really, the way he does his things anyway. But with Tony Robbins, one of his best sayings, what I like is, you don't trade your time for money. I think that's very, very true with what you're doing, isn't it? With your journey that you've now explained, you certainly don't want to be doing that, do you?
Right. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, when a lot of people have this idea of starting a coaching business or a consulting business or some sort of online business, especially if they have a local brick and mortar business, if they're a therapist, if they're, some sort of fitness trainer or something like that, they're used to charging by the hour or by the session. And so a lot of people come into the online space thinking that they're going to charge the same way. And that's, you can't do it that way because you're just setting yourself up for failure. So the way that you want to think about pricing your online coaching or course program is think about the end result that somebody wants to achieve. If you're a fitness trainer, is the end result, for example, if your target audience is men, is it to get rid of the dad bod and the beer belly and to shape up and build muscle and trim fat? If your target audience is women, is it maybe to overcome, hormone changes and to be able to increase metabolism and trim up and not necessarily build bulk, but, just trim up so that you can be high school skinny again and blah, 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 blah. What's that end result? And then think about, well, how long is it realistically going to take to achieve that result? Okay. If that's 3 months, Well, then create a 3-month program and sell that 3-month program. Don't sell it as, $100 a session and you can buy as many sessions as you want, or blah, blah, blah. People will never achieve the result that way.
Yeah.
So sell the result and then put a package together that's going to help them to achieve that result, and then price it for that package.
Yeah. And hopefully it will work. Well, I mean, if you're an expert in that field, it should work. I mean, if the personal trainer should know how the body works to do that. You know? I mean, I'm certified in that area, but I don't only do that. I mean, actually, it's more resilience coaching and stuff because of the suicide rates in firefighters and the medical profession as well. During the pandemic, there was a couple of cases and things like that. So I pivoted around that, and that's where I'm kind of trying to do what you're talking about. Selling a course on the Facebook ads and then using that for a bigger kind of audience, bigger money and smaller. Well, you know what I'm talking about. What you've just now mentioned, So, and the main thing is time, really, for me as well. Because I do make money on the side with something else, and I get my firefighters pension, which just pays the bills. So, all right. Well, before we go, obviously we're going to run out of time here. Tell us more about how people can find out more about what you do and where they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and this has been a great conversation, so we appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we have an awesome podcast. It's the Digital Trailblazer podcast. We're on all the different platforms. And if you found today's conversation interesting, if you're a coach, course creator, or someone who wants to be in that space, you're selling something online, it's all about how to do that. And so it's really it's awesome, full of gold nuggets. So they'll get a ton of information and value from that. So go check out the podcast. And we also have a free course for your audience as well today. So if you head to digitaltrailblazer.com, there's a little banner, I believe, up at the top of the page for our 0 to 20K blueprint. This is a mini course that we put together. And I literally was talking to someone earlier this week whose socks were officially blown off from the value in that course. So there's really good information and insights to help folks to lay a solid business foundation, to get all the pieces aligned and moving forward, and be able to build upon that to get to the scale that they're actually looking to build to.
Fantastic. Well, I don't know if you said the website already, but maybe remind them again of it.
Yep, one more time, digitaltrailblazer.com.
Excellent. Well, Leah and Todd, it's been a really great pleasure speaking to you. And, in some ways, I resonated with a lot of what you do, but you're ahead of me in terms of doing the coaching side of it, and I've been trying that for years, actually, myself. I'm one of these coaches that probably could have got trapped with the lower end stuff, but might have a chat with you once we finish this and see quickly what I can do as well. But in the meantime, thanks for sharing this valuable information with my audience today.
Thank you.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, or head over to my website, davepalmer.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Palmer Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.